Tonight, across America, hundreds of thousands of people will not sleep in a home of their own. This is not a guess. It is a fact. On a single night in January 2023, a count was taken. The number was stark. Approximately 650,000 people were experiencing homelessness. That includes men, women, children. It includes veterans who served this country. It includes families who simply could not make the rent. This is not just a number. Each one represents a person, a story, a life interrupted. The facts demand our attention. This problem is not getting smaller. It is getting bigger. The increase from the year before was 12%. That is the highest number of people recorded since this count began. It is a significant jump. It tells us something is wrong. More people were found in shelters, trying to find a safe place for the night. But an even larger increase was seen among those living outside. Homelessness can seem like a complicated, impossible problem. But at its core, it is a simple equation. Think about it like a tub filling with water. There is a faucet putting water in. That is the number of people who become homeless each year. There is also a drain letting water out. That is the number of people who exit homelessness and find a stable home. Right now, the faucet is on too high. The drain is too slow. More people are entering homelessness than are exiting it. The total number of people without a home grows. It is a math problem we are failing. To solve this, the logic is clear. We must turn down the faucet and open up the drain. We need to prevent people from losing their homes in the first place. That means addressing the reasons they fall into homelessness. At the same time, we must accelerate the rate at which people leave homelessness for good. This is not a mystery. We have proven solutions that help people find and keep housing. The challenge is not a lack of knowledge, it is a lack of scale. We are applying solutions for a few when the problem affects many. The math will not change until our investment matches the size of the crisis. The primary driver of this equation is the housing market. There is a severe shortage of affordable homes. For every 100 of the poorest renter households, there are only 34 affordable and available rental homes. That is a staggering mismatch. This forces families to compete for a tiny number of units. Many end up paying far more than they can afford for rent. More than 8.5 million households are paying over half their income for housing or living in severely inadequate conditions. They are living on the edge, one missed paycheck, or one medical bill away from losing everything. This is not about individual failings. It is about systemic pressures. When rents rise faster than wages, people get squeezed. When a city loses its low-cost apartments to new development, families are displaced. When a worker loses a job and the unemployment benefits are not enough to cover rent, they face eviction. These are the pathways into homelessness. They are predictable. They are measurable. And because we can see them, we can also build off-ramps. We can create systems that catch people before they fall. The math is simple. The goal is simple. Make exits greater than entries. We are not fighting this problem in the dark. We have tools. We have evidence. We know what works to help people exit homelessness, and just as importantly, stay housed. The research is clear on two primary interventions. The first is housing vouchers. These vouchers, often called Section 8, help low-income families afford housing in the private market. A family pays about 30% of their income toward rent, and the voucher covers the rest. It is a simple concept. It gives people choice. It gives them the ability to find a home that meets their needs in a community they want to live in. Housing vouchers are one of the most effective tools for reducing homelessness. Studies have shown they are successful at helping families leave shelters and find stable housing. They reduce the likelihood that a family will become homeless again. They improve outcomes for children. But there is a major problem. The program is dramatically underfunded. Only 1 in 4 households that qualifies for a voucher actually receives one. Millions of eligible families are left waiting, often for years. We have a solution that works, but we are only using it for a fraction of the people who need it. It is like having a cure for a disease and only giving it to every 4th patient. The second proven tool is called permanent supportive housing, or PSH. Sometimes it takes a crisis to show us what is possible. The COVID-19 pandemic was a public health emergency that threatened to trigger a massive wave of evictions and homelessness. In response, the federal government took unprecedented action. Through laws like the CARES Act and the American Rescue Plan, a significant amount of money was directed toward keeping people in their homes. This was a real-world stress test of the very solutions that experts have been advocating for years. The results gave us powerful proof that these strategies work on a large scale. One of the most important actions was emergency rental assistance. Billions of dollars were sent to states and cities to help tenants who had fallen behind on rent due to the pandemic. By the fall of 2022, local programs had made nearly 10 million payments to households at risk of eviction. This was a lifeline. It prevented countless families from being forced out of their homes and into shelters or onto the streets. At the same time, a national eviction moratorium, along with state and local protections, put a temporary stop to most evictions for non-payment of rent. Experts who study homelessness widely agree on the impact of these policies. While homelessness did increase during this period, it did not explode in the way many had feared. The consensus is that without these emergency interventions, the numbers would have been far, far worse. The rental assistance and eviction protections acted as a powerful buffer. They demonstrated a fundamental truth. When we provide the resources to help people pay their rent, they do not lose their homes. It shows that much of today's homelessness is not a result of intractable personal problems, but of a simple inability to afford the rent. Another key program was the Emergency Housing Voucher Initiative. This program provided more than 60,000 new housing vouchers specifically for people who were homeless, people at risk of homelessness, people fleeing domestic violence. It was a targeted injection of a proven solution right where it was needed most. The program showed that when resources are available, housing agencies and service providers can move quickly to help people find homes. The pandemic response, born of necessity, became an unintentional, large-scale demonstration project. It proved that with decisive action and adequate funding, we can prevent homelessness and house people effectively. The programs that kept so many people housed during the pandemic were temporary. They were designed as an emergency response, not a permanent fix. Now, that emergency support system is being dismantled. The federal money for emergency rental assistance has largely been spent. The national eviction moratorium ended long ago. Most state and local protections have expired with it. The faucet of homelessness was partially turned down, now it's being turned back up. We are watching a predictable outcome unfold in real time. Without these supports, pressures on low-income renters are mounting again. Rents in many cities have continued to climb. Inflation has strained family budgets. The safety net that was quickly assembled is now gone. Eviction filings have returned to, and in some places surpassed pre-pandemic levels. This means more families are facing the trauma of losing their home. Each eviction notice is a potential entry point into homelessness. We are removing the guardrails just as the road is getting more dangerous. The good news is, we do not have to accept a future with more homelessness. The path forward is not a mystery. It requires a clear-eyed commitment to a set of proven, common-sense policies. It is a plan based on evidence, not ideology. Leaders at the federal, state, local levels have a playbook they can follow. It starts with acknowledging the most effective way to end homelessness is to help people get into and stay in housing. Here are the core steps policymakers should take, starting today. They are practical, they are achievable, they will work. First, we must dramatically expand housing assistance. Create a universal housing voucher program for all eligible low-income households. This would transform housing stability in America. It would function like other safety net programs, providing assistance to everyone who qualifies, not just a lucky few who win a lottery. This would be the most significant move to help people exit homelessness and prevent it for millions more. It turns housing from a game of chance into a basic support. Second, preserve and increase the supply of affordable housing. Vouchers only work if homes exist that people can afford to rent. fund programs like the National Housing Trust Fund to build and preserve homes for the lowest income renters, protect existing low-cost housing that is disappearing, provide funds for repairs, and prevent conversions into luxury apartments. A balanced housing market needs homes at all price points, especially the lowest. Third, increase income supports for the very poor. Many people experiencing homelessness have little to no income. Modest but reliable cash assistance can make the difference between paying rent and being evicted. Strengthen temporary assistance for needy families, TANF. Strengthen supplemental security income, SSI. These programs help people afford basics, including housing, and reduce the risk that an economic shock will cause homelessness. It is about ensuring a basic level of security. Fourth, enact stronger renter protections. Eviction is a direct cause of homelessness. We need policies that prevent unfair and unnecessary evictions. Include just cause eviction laws, which require landlords to provide a legitimate reason for ending tenancy. Give tenants the right to legal counsel in eviction court. An attorney can help a family navigate the legal system and often help them remain in their home. These rules balance the rights of tenants and landlords and promote stability. Fifth, provide targeted help for high-risk groups. Youth aging out of foster care, veterans, people leaving the justice system. Create specific programs to provide them with housing and support during critical transitions. Focus resources on these known risk points to intervene early and prevent a new generation from falling into homelessness. This is a preventative approach that saves both money and lives down the road. A core part of this plan is about the physical homes themselves. You cannot house people without houses. Right now, our country has a severe deficit of affordable homes, and the problem is getting worse. For decades, the construction of new housing has not kept pace with population growth, especially at the lower end of the market. At the same time, we are losing existing affordable units every day. Older apartment buildings are often bought, renovated, and re-rented at a much higher price, pushing out long-term, low-income tenants. This is a slow-motion disaster for housing stability. Federal policy must play a leading role in turning this tide. We need a major sustained investment in building new affordable housing. Programs like the National Housing Trust Fund, the Low-Income Housing Tax Credit, are our best tools for this, but they need significantly more funding. These programs provide the financing that makes it possible for nonprofit developers, for-profit developers, to build and operate housing that is affordable to people with very low incomes. This is not about public housing projects of the past. It is about creating modern, well-integrated housing in communities with access to jobs, schools, transportation. Preserving what we already have is just as important as building new stock. It is almost always cheaper to keep an existing affordable home than to build a new one. We are losing tens of thousands of these units each year to disrepair or market conversion. Governments can create preservation funds that repair homes in exchange for long-term affordability, protecting tenants and neighborhood stability. It is a cost-effective way to stop the bleeding. Finally, address local barriers, restrictive zoning, complex approvals, NIMBY opposition, which can stop projects before they begin. Incentivize reforms to allow duplexes and small apartments. Reducing barriers is essential. We must make it easier to build the homes our communities need. A healthy housing market is one where supply can meet demand at all levels. The most effective and humane way is to stop it before it begins. An ounce of prevention is truly worth a pound of cure. This means shifting our focus from solely managing a crisis to actively preventing it. We know the primary pathways into homelessness: eviction family crises, foster care transitions, jail releases. By creating targeted interventions at these critical moments, we can help people maintain their stability and avoid the trauma and high cost of homelessness. This is a proactive, data-driven approach. Eviction is the most visible gateway to homelessness. We can build a system to prevent it. Emergency rental assistance programs, mediation services between landlords and tenants, Right to legal counsel for tenants facing eviction. Studies show that when a tenant has a lawyer, their chances of avoiding eviction increase dramatically. These are common sense measures that keep families in their homes. It is cheaper and better for everyone. We must also support people at high-risk transition points. Young people aging out of foster care are at extremely high risk. They often lack financial resources and family support. Dedicated housing vouchers and support services can give them a stable foundation. The same is true for people leaving correctional facilities. Housing assistance on release can reduce recidivism and prevent a jail street cycle. It is a smart, targeted investment. Mainstream public systems, schools, hospitals, child welfare, must identify at-risk households and connect them to help. A hospital social worker can connect a patient with no stable address to housing services. A school counselor can link a family facing eviction to emergency rental aid. By integrating supports, we create a community-wide safety net that catches people before they fall. We stand at a crossroads. The path of inaction leads to more homelessness. We know this. We are seeing it happen. The alternative is a path of deliberate, sustained action. It is a path guided by evidence and a belief in our ability to solve big problems. The plan is clear, the tools are proven. The only missing ingredient is the collective political will to see it through. Ending homelessness is not a dream, it is a choice. It is a series of policy decisions and budget priorities that we can make right now. This is not a question of charity, it is a matter of smart public policy and basic human dignity. The cost of doing nothing is immense. We pay for homelessness every day in the form of crowded emergency rooms, overburdened police departments, the incalculable price of human suffering and lost potential. Investing in housing solutions is not just the right thing to do. It is the fiscally responsible thing to do. It saves money. It strengthens communities. It saves lives.